The first OLQ is effective intelligence. Effective intelligence, in simple words, is known as practical intelligence or resourcefulness. Now, when we say resourcefulness consists of three components. The first component is the ability to identify your resources. The second component is to analyze those resources and know which can be used, where can it be used, and how can it be used. And the third component is to actually use them. Now, effective intelligence or resourcefulness finds its use in throughout the SSB process. I'm going to use the term resourcefulness because resourcefulness is an easy term, and if you understand resourcefulness well, you can demonstrate and develop it very fast. Now, when we talk about resourcefulness, your interviewer can check your resourcefulness in various ways. For example, your interviewer can ask you, tell me 5 uses of this pen. Now, what is this? What is 5 uses of this pen? This is your resourcefulness, to identify different uses in which this pen can be used. This is why, you'll see many memes where they are telling ki backbenchers usually, become army officers, front benchers become something else. Because it's about the practical use, or how we say in simple words as jugaad. So you have to identify the uses of the things. The second way, let's talk about your psychologist. In psychology, when a picture is shown to you, when we talk about TAT, a picture is shown to you. So I have seen this, that sometimes in the picture there'll be 4 characters. 4 characters would be going somewhere together, and then there's an accident. Now, majority of the candidates who write a story on that picture will only use 1 character. They'll not make use of the 3 characters, they'll not delegate the tasks, they'll not use their resources. What are those 3 characters? They are your resources. What is the car in the picture? Your resource. What is the bucket or anything that is kept in the picture? It's your resource. So when you observe a picture, identify your resources and use them. Use them wisely. If we say SRTs also has resources. Sometimes the resources are obvious. Sometimes the resources are not very obvious. So there's this SRT that your father gave you a large sum of money to deposit in some bank. And while you were going to deposit that large sum in a briefcase, suddenly what happens is you see a thief has stolen a girl's necklace or chain and is running. So now you will see that in this SRT, what can be your resource? So you're going to the bank for depositing your father's money. Now, if it's a large sum of money, it's less likely that your father sent you alone. Maybe your father is going with you, maybe you're carrying his bag, maybe it's your sibling who is going with you. Because we all know that usually for a large sum of money, you won't be sent alone. So they are your resources. You can hand over the bag and then you can do something for the thief. Now you have to remember, this is what? This is again your resourcefulness or your effective intelligence, where you are identifying your resource and you're using your resources. Now, what happens with resourceful people? They are not only smart, but resourceful people get less depressed, they get less anxious, and they are having more stress handling ability. You would see one thing in life, that whenever we come across any problem and we know how to solve it, we tend to be calm because we know that yes, we have got it under control. But let's say you get a problem and you don't know how you can solve it. Automatically you're going to get anxious. Many times I have seen some people, they'll be telling that, be calm, focus on being calm. But don't focus on being calm first. Focus on being resourceful. If you start telling it to yourself that everything has a solution, let me just find it. Let me think how can I resolve it. Let me think what I can do about it. You will see only in some days your stress handling ability will increase a lot and you'll not get worked up by little things. This will also affect your reasoning ability in great ways, your liveliness in great ways, because you know that yes, I can handle everything. Now, every quality in psychology has certain sub-factors or certain sub-components. This is why even if you try to develop one quality, you'll develop multiple qualities. But if you try to develop multiple qualities, you might not develop even a single quality. Now, when we talk about intelligence, GTO mein you obviously know the use where you are using the rope and the bully and whatever plank. So you know that how you're going to use it, and you're going to identify places in which you can keep it. So that is also your resourcefulness. Now, when we talk about the various components of effective intelligence or resourcefulness, the components include, the first component is your observation. Obviously, if you will observe the resources around you, that is the only way you're going to be able to use those resources. If you don't know what is lying around you, how will you use them? You'll not be able to use them. So be observant. Whenever you go outside, keep your phone in the pocket and try to observe the things that are around you. And you can play this game also, that what are 5 uses of this, what are 5 uses of this bottle, what are 5 uses of this chair. Not only will it help you in developing more intelligence, but it will also help you in being mindful of the present, or bringing back your consciousness into the present. It will help you in various ways. The second component of intelligence is curiosity. So intelligent people, practically intelligent or resourceful people, ask questions, because asking questions is the only way through which you're going to get answers. You're going to know, okay, this works like this, or this can be used like this. So be curious, read about things, ask questions, and don't ask only focused on recommendation. Ask things about a variety of things. You'll see that your whole SSB is dependent on your whole interview process is dependent on curiosity. Your interviewer at each and every stage is asking you, tell me about your parents, tell me about your school, tell me, what did your parents study, tell me what is your sibling doing. Why? Because you have to be curious. He'll ask you, what do you feel about the state? If you become the CM of the state, what is it that you're going to do? Why? It checks your observation, your curiosity, and obviously if you're having decent reforms in your mind or not. The third component of effective intelligence or resourcefulness is creativity. Now, the creativity word that we use in language is completely different from how we use creativity in psychology. See, creativity in language will say, if you can write a very good poem, you're creative. If you can paint nicely, you're creative. But in psychology, that's not true. In psychology, that is linguistic intelligence, spatial intelligence, and musical intelligence. But that's not creativity. In psychology, creativity is more related to your problem-solving ability. So when we talk about the problem-solving ability, creativity talks about, when one door is closed for you, are you able to open the second door for you or not? For example, the interviewer might ask you, okay, let's say you're going on a trip to Goa with 5 of your friends. Suddenly one friend says that he cannot afford the trip. What will you do? Let's say you say that you will ask the remaining others to contribute. The interviewer says no one wants to contribute. Then what? Then you will say that I will contribute. So the IO says, but you also don't have money, then what? What is this then what, then what? This is checking your creativity. Are you able to open new doors for yourself or not? Remember, psychological creativity is different from the word creativity which we use in language. People who have not studied psychology will tell you that, be creative, be imaginative in your stories. But anyone who has studied psychology properly will know that imagination is only an extension of your personality. Imagination and intelligence are not really that much connected. When we talk about imagination, many times it is telling an untold story of your life. I observed this thing that if we talk about Jab We Met movie, so Jab We Met script was written by Imtiaz Ali. And in Jab We Met, Kareena is, hurt by someone she loves and she wants to break free. Then Imtiaz Ali wrote Rockstar. In Rockstar, the character again loses the person he loves and wants to break free. Then he wrote Highway. Alia is abused by again a family member and wants to break free. Then he wrote Tamasha. Again Ranbir is harassed by his father and wants to break free. Then he wrote a Netflix series She. Again the character is harassed and wants to break free. So you'll see imagination is an extension of your personality. This was actually, the basis of TATs. When TATs had begun, if you'll actually study the background story of TAT, so there was a famous painter, I don't remember his name right now. So when he started making abstract paintings, he saw that when he's showing it to other people, people are looking at it differently based on the things that are going on in their life. Now the test, went on getting improved and improved and improved, and then it became the today's TAT. And when TAT was taken for SSB, so some changes were done. TAT in normal psychology gives you 15 minutes to write, but TAT in SSB only gives you 4 minutes to write the story, because they want to put you under pressure. They want you to be pressurized while writing it, so that your assessors can understand your pressure-based behavior. You all would have seen one thing, that we behave normally in a different manner. Like, I am usually nice when normal, but I'm very irritated when pressurized. I'll be very short-tempered when pressurized. So many of you would also be having different kinds of behaviors when pressurized. You can also try to identify your pressure-based behavior in terms of work, people, and self, so that you can understand ki, okay, this is my psychology, and obviously that's the same thing you're going to write with your knowledge, obviously. So if you want to be more practically intelligent, develop knowledge. Try to watch interesting things. You can start watching one TEDx talk every day. Read things. Listen to wise people. Talk to people about, scenarios. And then automatically you'll see that your intelligence will increase. Try and do a variety of things. Don't try to only stick to one thing. Do a variety of things. When you'll do a variety of things, what will happen? Automatically your intelligence will start developing. From childhood, I had this habit of reading. The only thing that I have done in my life very sincerely is reading. And as a child, I would read, one book, two book a week, sometimes even in a day. So those stories, sometimes I still tell it to my clients and my students while I am teaching them, and it gets very helpful for them. Develop knowledge. Now again, when we talk about intelligence more, again when we go to the interview, so the interviewer can ask you ki, if you become the chief minister of your state, prime minister of your country, CEO of your unit for serving candidates, what are the reforms that you would like to bring? Now there are some people who would talk about certain things which are very much personal in nature. Like, let's say you belong to a certain community, that community is not getting something, you'll start talking about that. So whenever you are answering, please remember, do not bring a lot of personal elements into this. You don't have to think only as you while you are answering those things. Think like a leader. And again, if you want to tell good reforms, you have to be observant. There have been certain serving candidates who have given me amazing responses for if they become the CEO, what is it that they'll like to do. But then there are some who only talk about leave. They'll not talk about other things. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but the other ones, they are telling very nice things about technology and training of some XYZ components. So you have to observe, you have to ask questions, you have to think, and automatically you'll start becoming more resourceful. Now, what are the things which affect your resourcefulness? The biggest thing, emotions. Actually, your emotions affect almost everything. You'll see sometimes these little things will happen. Once my dog was injured, and my dog means the most to me in the world. So I went to a place to buy some medicines, and then I was so much stressed out that I paid the money. I forgot to take medicines and came halfway, and then I realized, oh, I have forgotten it. Now these emotions, good or bad, they will affect your effective intelligence. So you have to remember that try to maintain a good state of mind. Try to do some mindful activities every day so that your emotions don't affect your intelligence. Again, this was a sad emotion, but a good emotion can also be there. Like when I was learning swimming, so me and my friend were learning swimming, and on Tuesdays our pool remains closed. So our coach told us that he'll not come on Tuesday. Tuesday is an off day. But me and my friend were so excited that we discussed that if the coach doesn't want to come, it's okay. We both will go and practice. It was only in the evening we realized that the pool is closed because the coach won't be coming. So sometimes this common sense gets hugely affected by our emotions. Obviously, I'm telling mine, and some people will mock for it, but I'm only telling you so that you can connect it to yourself. So, effective intelligence, the most important and versatile quality. It's wrong to say the most important quality, however, it becomes more important in certain entries. Entry by entry, also, sometimes the weightage of your qualities vary. So, many times, what happens is when you're going for naval entries, Air Force entries, you need to have a better grasp, better knowledge. So that even in tech entries for army, JAG entry, you need to have a better intelligence. I had this one student who was going for JAG entry and was not getting recommended. When I told him to try going by CDS, he was able to get recommended by CDS entry because he was not very good in doing those puzzles. Now, again, when we talk about puzzles, sometimes in your interview, you could be asked maths questions. So, maths questions, your interviewer can ask you ki how much is 8 by 5 kilometer per hour in meter per second or something. And then for that, you get low marks for your intelligence and reasoning ability. Now, remember, this particular phenomenon is known as dyscalculia. Like if you saw Tare Zameen Par, so there was dyslexia, sorry. So dyscalculia is a disorder or a small disorder, not a very serious disorder, in which you find it extremely difficult to calculate. But it is a totally curable disorder, and it's not really a disorder for most of the people. It's usually in the beginning stages when you might be scared of big numbers or you have not practiced it enough. So practice it more and more. Do puzzles, practice calculations. And again, this also helps you in maintaining a good state of mind. When I had my first breakup, and that time I was not a psychologist and I did not know how to handle things, and I was always overthinking. So what I started doing was I started writing tables like 14 into 15, 14 into 16, and I used to try to calculate it mentally. I used to make mistakes, obviously, but these things, they help you remain in the present. They develop your mindfulness. They make your state of mind very nice, and not only they make you more intelligent, but they make you more resilient, which is very important. So observe, ask questions, think of different ways in which something can be done, and please develop knowledge. Don't be that person that, even without GK you can get recommended. So even though I have 6 months for my SSB, I'll not study for it. Don't be like that. Develop knowledge. Read about people. Don't read self-help books for developing psychology. Read about people. See their journeys. Watch TEDx talks again. Read about people from all domains of life. Don't be like ki I'll only read about army officers, or I'll only read about sports person. Don't be narrow-minded in this case also. Narrow-minded is again not only about your clothes. Be versatile. Be open towards things. And the last thing with open towards things, I recall, for any quality, it is very important that you behave more open towards things. Many times what happens with some students is they'll put walls around themselves. And when you put walls around yourself, obviously you can't think a lot. Ye rigidity is also visible in the interview. Your interviewer asked you that 5 friends want to go to Goa, 1 cannot afford. So you say that 4 will contribute. The IO says ki no one wants to contribute, and you'll be rigid. No, I'll make them contribute. He says no one is getting ready to contribute. You'll be like, no, I'll make them contribute. So this rigidity is also a very bad thing. And what I have learned in my experience is rigid people cannot be taught. So in the beginning, I used to feel ki why is someone not, understanding? But now I have grown up to understand this, that if you're rigid, you'll not understand, you'll not learn. I have had students where, they'll ask weird questions. Like there's a picture in which a girl is entering a boy's room from a window. And then there was a girl who had written a story that, she is his best friend, and he's not responding to her calls. She called 21 times, he didn't pick up. So he went inside the window, she went from the window. And then I told her ki it's an obsessive and stupid story. So she was very much offended by it, ki how. And then she was very rigid ki this only has to be correct. So if you are like that, please understand that rigidity won't help you with anything. Even when I was studying psychology, I was also rigid that I'll only study this thing. But that time a wise person, a wise teacher had told this thing to me, that if you'll be rigid, you'll not be able to grow in life. So don't be rigid, be open towards things. Think, imagine, but not imagination in a way where you are telling only about yourself. Please develop knowledge. If you develop knowledge, if you read about a variety of people, you'll perform very good. If there is a mountain related picture which comes to you, Google mountain related professions. See what professions match your personality. Like a trekker might not match my personality, but a researcher will. A person who is reading about something will. So you connect it to yourself, but obviously not when a trekker is shown to you. But again, when you see a trekking person, you again need a little bit of knowledge. Write about the mountain's name, or write about any place's name at least, and then show that yes, I'm using my time in a productive manner. So I hope this clears out for effective intelligence. If there's any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.